I've been at a handful of meetings in the last 2 weeks with founders, CEOs, and executives talking about AI. And the question on everyone's mind is, what are you doing with OpenClaw? Like, what are you really doing? What are you doing with OpenClaw, the amazingly kind of viral sensation that is a personal AI assistant or an AI agent framework recently acquired by Sam Altman and OpenAI? Peter Steinberger developed this in a couple of months, and it's the kind of viral sensation of 2026. But while a lot of people are talking about it, controlling their sleep number bed or their Nest thermostat in their house, business owners like us are saying, hey, how can I actually use this technology to grow my business, grow faster, be more profitable, work less maybe, or work better? In this video, I'm going to share the 9 ways that I'm using OpenClaw and people I know are using OpenClaw to drive real results for real businesses and none of this kind of AI hype fluff that we've all gotten. Hey, if we haven't met before, my name's Craig Hewitt. On this channel, we talk all about how we can use AI to make ourselves and our businesses grow more, be more profitable, and have a lot more fun doing it. And today we're talking all about OpenClaw. Let's dive into the first real world use case that I'm using in my business with OpenClaw to make myself work better, faster, and happier. And it is a daily research briefing. So my OpenClaw's name is Janet, and she goes out and looks around the web, so Twitter, Reddit, Google, news sources, for things that she thinks I need to know about. This is the curation step because Janet knows basically everything about me. I've written a lot into her soul. It's an official kind of document that lives in an OpenClaw setup, to where she knows kind of what I'm interested in, what I might want to know more about, and kind of where I want to focus my energy for the day. And she surfaces just those kind of handful of things that she knows I need to pay attention to. So as opposed to you doom scrolling Reddit or Twitter or LinkedIn, you just have your OpenClaw, your agent, bring that stuff to you so you don't have to go onto Twitter and see all the stuff that distracts you and frankly is really terrible for your mental health. It is for mine at least. So now my OpenClaw brings things to me. I figure out if I want to dive into any of them or implement them even better. And then I can move on and do other things with my day. So I apply this to meetings as well. She'll say, hey, you have this at this time and this at this time. She has access to my calendar and my email. So she has the context of, oh, I'm meeting with John at 11 o'clock. This is who John is. These are the things that you talked about last time from my note taker. And this is what you need to be prepared for. So I do this with clients that I work with in my AI advisory. Check out a link for this in the description below if you want to work together in my AI advisory or in running my business at Castos. So daily prep for me, news, calendar, action items that she thinks I might need to pay attention to into the day ahead. Okay, number 2 is mentioned she has access to my email, and it is just triage, right? When you go into your inbox each morning, how many emails do you get that are just garbage, just absolute garbage? If you're anything like me, it's half probably. Janet just goes in and cleans up a lot of those. There's specialized software out there like Inbox Zero that does this for you as well. So if you're not using OpenClaw, but you want to get this kind of benefit, check out something like inboxzero.ai for a really great way to kind of take some of that cognitive load off of you so you can focus on the things that are most important. My OpenClaw does this for me, and it's not perfect. There'll be some things that are kind of left out that I need to go through manually, but it's rare that she gets rid of stuff that I actually needed to see. So I'm happy for her to be a little less kind of intrusive than to over archive things that I actually need to see. Okay, the third one, and this is kind of a meme almost, is for a long time, people have been talking about like, I want to build a personal CRM. But the reality is the market for it would be terrible because no one would pay for this. Well, now we have it. If you give your OpenClaw access to your email, it can build this kind of AI-powered CRM for you. Because if you've been in sales, the worst possible thing you can do in sales is spend time manually updating the CRM. Well, with AI, we don't have to because the AI is smart. It knows who this person is, what your last contact with them was, what action items you might need to take away, and then can remind you or update the CRM or the Notion. I just use Notion for my CRM, the Notion database as to like, hey, these are the next steps that need to happen. Maybe set a reminder for me to follow up with someone in a week or two if we're talking about a YouTube sponsorship deal or something like that. So my OpenClaw goes, scours my email for potential kind of business leads that I need for like my YouTube channel for sponsors and things like that. and brings those and surfaces to me, again, offloading some of that cognitive load so I don't have to worry about this. She worries about it and surfaces only the things that I need to worry about. So creating a kind of virtual CRM that's AI powered, backed by the data in my email and in Notion is a huge win. Okay, number 4, something I don't hear anyone else talking about is this kind of second layer connection based on your existing contacts. So again, I have an email out to John right now. Who else out there is kind of like John that maybe I need to connect with? That's kind of what I'm always wondering. How can I broaden my network to other interesting, fun, and impactful people that I can offer value to or that I just want to get to know? And so the way this works is they have access to my email, they know who I'm talking to, and they go find, Janet goes and finds people similar to that for me to connect with. A lot of times this is on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, love it or hate it, is the place where business people hang out. And so it will suggest people for me to reach out to proactively for, hey, they're doing interesting things in AI, or they run a business that I might be able to help. So not just worrying about your existing kind of group of connections and your network, but ways to smartly grow it and intentionally grow it, again, with the use of AI. Okay, and the next one is bringing in context from social content. So again, Reddit, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, talking about things that are important to me in my business. So Castos, we're a podcast hosting SaaS platform. So what are people saying in the world about podcasting that I need to be aware of? How can we use that to create content, marketing collateral, positioning updates for my business? So while the first tip, my daily briefing, was about like me personally, this one's more about like my business. What kind of business intelligence is going on automatically 24/7, 365 on my Mac Mini? I just set Janet up on her own Mac Mini. What's going on out there that I need to know about for my business and that I can go actually do things from. So this is going out, getting information from the world of podcasting in my case, but it could be sheet metal manufacturing or landscaping or AI technology. For you, what's going on out there that your business needs to know about? How can you extract that information, put it into a format that you, your agents, and your team can actually go do stuff with to be more successful? Okay, the next one is this kind of marketing in a box concept. We're going to talk about my agent swarm, my agent team in a minute, but just like if you only have one agent, the instructions and the kind of purpose I would give them is to create a marketing sub-agent. And so you can imagine like training this sub-agent on you and your brand and your positioning and things going on in your world and who your customers are, kind of channels that you like to market on, and then just let it go wild and let it test and iterate and learn from things that it's doing. I think it's a really powerful way to unshackle your agent, is to say, hey, in my case, Janet is the main agent, and then Atlas is our marketing agent. And he has privileges to do a lot of things when it comes to marketing, but he's always told, hey, learn, iterate, and document what you're doing so you get smarter over time. And so this is where like the actual implementation of your AI agent can really vary. And if you're like, oh, man, I'm like watching this and this is really overwhelming, I really want to get involved. I do help some businesses set up their AI infrastructure and agents so you can get the benefits of things like this without having to put in all the work of learning like I have by doing. So if you're interested in working together on me helping you and your business set up AI technology and agents and OpenClaw, there's a link in the description below for how we might work together. But marketing in a box, if you're going to go past the first agent to a sub-agent or a specialized agent, I would just say train it on marketing. This is going to be the highest leverage activity you can get. Okay, the next one is a pretty cool one. Is one night last week, I was just sitting there and I was like, hey, I want Janet and I want my agents to help me with this YouTube channel. And so we built a little set of skills. Skills are specialized files in your OpenClaw setup that give kind of personality and jobs or SOPs maybe to your agents. And so we set up a set of these SOPs or skills for my agent team to research YouTube on topics that I might create videos about, and actually came up with this exact video topic. Title options, thumbnail prompts for Google Gemini, Nano Banana, all these kinds, and like a video outline. So instead of me flipping on the camera and saying, gosh, what am I going to do? It's gone out, done the thinking, done the work, done the research to prepare me to come here and hopefully be successful. So I would say take and apply this concept to whatever you do in your business. If you're an executive and you have a lot of one-on-ones, or you have board meetings or things like that, how can you deploy an agent with skills? And again, skills are just markdown files, or it's a text file that gives kind of an SOP or a job description. How can you set up that job description to tell your agents what you want them to do, and in the format and in the tone, and kind of what you want to get out of this? So for me, that was YouTube. For you, that probably will be something else, but it's just a really specific example of how you might think about intentionally deploying an agent with skills to achieve a certain thing in your business. And this is really the meta level concept, is like, you're not going to go from zero to what I'm talking about here in a day. This is weeks worth of work if you're doing this by yourself. But you do want to start small and just iterate and kind of stack things on top of each other. Okay, the next one is customer support triage. And if you're like, whoa, Craig, I would never release like an AI agent to customer support, I agree with you. We definitely don't do that. We have a bot on our website at Castos, and it answers a lot of questions. It's reduced our customer support by about 40%. But people are absolutely still required to answer a lot of questions that customers have for us. But there are certain things that even past the bot, an agent can go in and pull things out of a ticket, create a GitHub issue, spin up a Codex instance maybe to fix a bug, create a PR, integrate with Sentry monitoring, things like that. So this is just more of a concept. And to be honest, we have this about half baked right now. It's surfacing things to us, but it's not doing the work yet. And I think that's a nice first step for those of us who are a little kind of like agent skeptic, is like, oh, I don't want to give away the reins. I don't want to give away keys to the kingdom or control to an agent for it to go just do a bunch of stuff. That's cool. Maybe the first step is just like, hey, bubbling up things that you need to be aware of so you and your team can go do things with it. And honestly, that's kind of where we are. But I see a lot of promise here, because there's a lot of repetitive manual things that we all do in a business. And that's kind of the whole point of AI, is we just don't need to do those things so we can elevate and do something more impactful and interesting with our time. Okay, and last one, and I promised I would get to this, is agent teams. So when you're getting started, set up your first agent and just talk to them one-on-one. They're going to build a bunch of context, a bunch of skills. They'll have a lot of ability. But as you go, you'll start spreading that into dedicated areas of focus. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. And if you're interested, we'll have a whole video on this in the future. Just leave a comment below with Swarm, the comment Swarm, if you want to hear how I'm doing this and how I'm learning and thinking about iterating on my setup with multi-agent teams. But the easiest way is you have one main agent, Janet in my case, and then you have specialized sub-agents that handle specific areas of your business. So that could be like content or marketing or operations. It could be things in your personal life like fitness or finance or relationships. You might share one agent with your spouse or your partner. And so I think this is more of a conceptual framework here, is the main agent is the router always, and it can create jobs or spawn sub-agents to do specific things. And again, this is going to be different for everyone. And this is why things like OpenClaw are so powerful, is they can let you do whatever you want. And that's why they're also so complicated, is it's just a box and you have to kind of build the things that you want from it. But I hope this is helpful in showing the ways that I'm using OpenClaw. Mine is named Janet. You can follow her on Twitter. She's the Agent Janet if you want to see what she tweets about. But this is how I'm using OpenClaw and AI agents in my business today. And this is evolving super quick. So if you're like, gosh, I'm out of touch, I don't really know what's going on, I don't have an OpenClaw, you're not that far behind. Most people haven't used this, and the whole technology has only been around for like 3 months. So if you haven't done any of this yet, you're not too late. But what I would say is you want to be aware of what's going on here, because at a high level, what's going on is AI agents are coming into the mainstream, and they're absolutely the future of how we're going to interact with technology and the internet. And so while you don't need a sophisticated OpenClaw setup today, you will need to be thinking about how you and your business can adopt AI agents into the future. And if you want some help with that, I'd love to help out. There's a link in the description below for more information about what working together might look like. As always, if you're enjoying this, please like, subscribe, smash the bell. Leave a comment below if you want to hear about my multi-agent setup in more detail. Use the comment keyword swarm.